Hi, I'm Jonathan Gersharter. In this short movie, I will introduce infrastructure as a service, a type of cloud computing. Let's begin with an analogy to banking. In the early days of banking, to conduct a transaction, a customer had to interface with a teller in a bank. Then came phone banking, where you could conduct your transactions any time of day or night by phone. Finally, we have ATM banking, which removed the banker from the transaction. A customer could now self-serve their banking transactions. Similarly, in the world of computing, in the early days, to purchase computing servers, you had to start with a purchase order, which could be a lengthy process. Then came virtualization, which consolidated disparate operating systems onto single physical servers. Now, to obtain computing services, the end user could send an email or make a phone call. Finally arrives cloud computing, and this paradigm allows the end user to self-serve their computing needs. Let's now explore. Let's build a cloud from the bottom up. First, we start with a physical server, which contains memory, CPU, disk, and networking. We layer on top of that a hypervisor. In this example, there could be VMware, Xen, KVM, or Hyper-V. The hypervisor allows many different virtual machines to run on top of the same physical hardware. Now let's explore the four components of cloud computing. Firstly, we start with multi-tenancy, or segmentation or isolation. Let's look at an apartment building or office block. All the tenants in the building share the same physical infrastructure: the electrical, the water, elevator, parking, security. However, they're isolated from one another. The next component is elasticity. Elasticity means that the cloud computing environment can grow or shrink to meet user demand. Next is a service catalog. What's a catalog? Well, when a customer wants to buy something, you leaf through a physical catalog and look at the products that you wish to purchase. In cloud computing, the end user looks at the catalog of services provided by the cloud computing provider and chooses what he or she would need to use. For example, a Windows server, a Linux server, and customize it with the amount of storage, networking, CPU, and memory that they need. This enables the fourth component, which is on-demand measured self-service. This means the user essentially self-serves their computing needs, while the cloud provider measures what the user uses and then builds them accordingly. Let's now look at two examples. Firstly, VMware. We see from their architecture diagram that CPU, memory, disk are layered on the bottom. On top of that is the virtualization layer called vSphere, and then on top of that comes the cloud computing, vCloud Director, with its associated functions. Another example is Eucalyptus. Again, you have your physical layer at the bottom, then the virtualization, and finally the virtual cloud resources of compute, network, and storage. I hope this was useful to you. Thank you.